What's up, leaders? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Lead From Here podcast. I'm Jason. Today I wanted to talk about the last video I posted, which got a lot of email traffic about, like, you don't know me, how could you say that? All the things around people that typically have a vision of what leadership is, and a lot of people are like, if you're not in it for the money, what are you in it for? And it's ultimately, so with that, I wanted to talk about your why as a leader. What is your why? Why are you here? What makes you want to be a leader? And I think this is something that gets lost in translation because a lot of people just get promoted to leader because they're a fantastic individual contributor. And while that might work out for some people, just because you're fantastic at doing the job doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be great at leading for that job, especially if it's not something you're passionate about. If it's something you're passionate about and you've been reading leadership books or trying to learn about it, watching YouTube videos about it, following this channel, you're doing all these things that drive you in that direction. That may be a wanted, welcome thing. Sometimes it's forced upon somebody and they're like, I don't really know what I'm doing and I'm not sure I like this. Sometimes it works out for people, sometimes it doesn't. Where I usually see things go sideways is when people talk about their interest in leadership. Where it tends to go sideways is when I ask people what their why is. And their why is typically like make more money, have more power, have more prestige. And all those things can happen if you're a leader, but it can also happen if you're an individual contributor. You can wield power, you can wield prestige, you can make way more money. There's all possibilities within whatever role you're in, as long as you're the best at what you do. If you bring the value, you get the value in return if you're working for a healthy organization. So what is your why? What brings you here? What brings you to this channel? What brings you to leadership? What brings you to a situation where you want to lead a team or lead an initiative? What brings you to that? What drove you to be here or drove you to seek that out? If it's money, make sure that leadership is exactly what you think it will be, and make sure that you're moving down the path that will support your interests and your enjoyment in your day-to-day work as best as possible. Because if your why is money, you may be better served as an individual contributor because you can make just as much money doing that as a leader. Like I said in the last video, the number of times that I had people reported to me that made more money than me is countless. I can remember a bunch of times where that happened. But for me, my why was not about the money. So it ultimately allowed me to focus on helping them grow. Their money was irrelevant. My money was irrelevant. Obviously, I want to make more money, continue to grow my career and all those things. But ultimately, this person making more money than I do has nothing to do with me bringing value or what I bring to the table. I know I'm supporting their growth. I know I'm helping them do better in their career by giving them insight, by coaching them, by giving them feedback, positive and negative. So it's really important for you to understand your why. Because when you get in those situations, it can break you down. If your goal is to make more money, so let's play out a scenario. Your why is, I want to make more money. You become a leader. You had a peer that was at the same role as you that did not move in leadership. They stayed as an individual contributor, got a normal raise, no big deal, continue to move forward. The next year cycle, that person gets a promo and is now making a little bit more money than you. But because you weren't passionate about leadership, you're not at the forefront of leadership when it comes to promotions. So you're still at that base level leader making less than the person that made an individual contributor. Now you're frustrated because I came into this role to make more money, and now somebody that I was literally the same as, and I'm a better individual contributor than they are, is now making more money than me, and now I'm frustrated, now I'm burnt out, and now I don't want to do this job, and now I want to go back to being an individual contributor. If you're in a healthy company, you can make that move and generally be okay. You're probably not going to get that promo right away. I mean, you'll get it eventually. But the key is to stay where your strengths are. So your why was money. Money can be had either direction. So it's really more about what you want to do. For instance, my why right now is to help people find their way to the career of their dreams and to build the career and the job and the life that they wanted. So ultimately, that's how I try and support people. So when I'm talking to people in one-on-ones, I'm not just talking about their career. Sure I am, but I'm also supporting their personal growth as best I can. My why evolves every year, and ultimately, like, my first why in leadership was, I know I can do better than some of the leaders I've had because some of my leaders sucked. So I know I can do better than that, and I'm gonna show what a good leader looks like. That was my why when I started. That evolved to like, oh, I think I can develop people. Okay, I don't actually develop people. I give them the framework to develop themselves. Okay, all right, so it's all about evolution and understanding like where I find my passion. It eventually pivoted into seeing people become their best selves. And that's something that has stuck with me for a very long time, and it's something that continues to motivate me. My why doesn't evolve as much as it used to year over year, but it does still kind of continue to tweak and make sure that I understand like what is my purpose here. So if you want to start figuring out your own why, I have 3 questions that I ask myself every year. So the first question is, if I wasn't getting paid, is this something I'd still be doing? Obviously not for that company, but yeah, I'd still want to be leading something. I mean, this channel is a great example of like, hey, I'm not getting paid to do this, but I enjoy leadership and I'm passionate about leadership. So I'm going to keep pushing in this space. So yes, 1, I'm good. The second question is, if you had to start today and relearn everything, you lost all that information, you had to relearn it all again, would you do this again? Would you pick this job again? Would you pick this path again? For me, yeah, I would still find ways to learn about leadership because this is something that I'm highly passionate about. And the last question is my daily responsibilities pushing me? Am I learning and growing? Am I going beyond where I was yesterday? And if you answer yes to that, you're probably on a path that makes you very happy. Depending on how you answer these 3 questions, it can lead you down a path of like, yeah, this is my path, this is what I want to do. Or no, this isn't what I want to be doing. And so if you're an individual contributor and you're like, I love my job, I would do this again if I had to start over from scratch, and I would still be doing this if I wasn't getting paid. If all 3 of those questions, yeah, you're probably good being an individual contributor. Yeah, they may say like right now you're gonna make $5,000 more than an individual contributor, but a year from now, you're probably gonna pass that person. If you're in a successful company and you're crushing as a developer, as an individual contributor, or whatever job you're doing, you're probably gonna get promoted beyond what that leader's gonna get in 2 years. So it's important to understand what your strengths are, where you're going, and what your why is. Your why can be anything. It's just making sure you tie your why to what the right role is for you. I hope this was helpful. For the people that reached out and said this is dumb, like you always are chasing money, I don't agree with you, and that's okay. I don't need to agree with you, and you don't need me to agree with you. But ultimately, what I would say is you need to find your why, because at some point you will hit a point in your career where you have enough money and you're miserable. And then what are you going to do? So make sure that you are addressing your why and understanding where you're going, because at some point, it may not be now, it may not be 5 years from now, but at some point you will hit a wall and you will wish you were doing something else. I don't want that for you, and I don't want you to be in a situation where you're stuck. So I hope you take this to heart and it's helpful. If it's not, no big deal. If you want to talk more about it, jason@leadfromhere.co. Hope everybody's doing well. If you like what you're hearing, please like, follow, subscribe. It would mean a great deal to me. Otherwise, take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and yeah, see you later.